Hello, and welcome to the sixth and last episode of Sports Talk for the 2023-2024 school year. I'm Tyler Steinberg.
And I'm Jake Manno, and I have to say, it's a little bittersweet that this season's coming to an end.
I couldn't agree more, Jake, but I think we can save the sorrow to the end.
Well, on that note, why don't you tell the people what sport we're going to be highlighting?
Obviously, the Mets. No?
You wish. First off, the Mets aren't a sport.
Whatever.
And second, they have nothing to do with Mepham.
Fine, but maybe later?
We'll see. But for now, let's head over to the Diamond, where the softball team has had a successful year lighting it up towards the end of the regular season, finishing with a 4-12 record overall, but winning 3 out of their last 5 heading into the postseason.
Definitely not too shabby, and that momentum really carried over into the postseason, propelling them to a win in the first round. So from what we've seen from these girls, Jake, what are some things that went particularly well for them this season?
Well, I think a lot of things went really, really well, but I think we have to highlight the only senior on that team, Giselle DeLucia, who was lights out inning after inning, game after game, and on both sides of the ball. Pitching was phenomenal. She was ending with multiple double-digit strikeouts per week in multiple different games, and on the other side, hitting just about 400 with a couple of extra base hits. She's been phenomenal for the Mepham Pirates.
Yeah, definitely. I think if she is watching this episode, I promise you, she doesn't really need all this anymore. She knows she's really dominant, of course, and she has the opportunity as well to play at the college level in Southern Connecticut. So I promise you we're going to be saying her name definitely a little bit more as, we'll see what success she has in college. Hey, you never know. Maybe we see that D1 level soon. So.
And definitely, and obviously we said it before, she is the only senior on that team. So let's talk about the underclassmen. 7 freshmen, 4 sophomores. This team is loaded with talent.
Yeah.
And even the JV team had their fair share of success. So it is a bright, bright future here for the Mepham Pirates.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you have a young team like that. Yeah, right? It's a little risky, coming into a situation where you have playoffs, you have to have that conversation of who's going to step up, right? Those nerves as well. We all know the saying, big-time players make big-time plays, and really for them, kind of the whole situation this season was this team is not, they've had success in the past, right? But for them, really, it was just can these young players step up, and can they figure it out on their own?
And I think they did time and time again, and we'll see that later. But in any moment, whether it's the clutch, the first inning moments, no matter what it is, these Pirates just seem to step up no matter what the cause is, no matter what the deficit was. In the first round playoffs, in those moments, under those spotlights, they stepped up. So it seemed like time and time again, these Pirates were ready to get after the ball, and they were just ready for whatever came in their path.
Yeah, definitely. The future for these Pirates are very bright, but I promise you, there's no debate that these Lady Pirates are going to be in good hands come next year, even though I won't be able to see it. But I promise you again, this young group, it's also going to be important to stay composed and secure each win, of course, when it matters most.
Yeah, for sure. There's no secret that there's a whole list of nerves that goes through everyone's head in the last few outs of a game.
100%. Though, I do wonder how the girls have been performing in those clutch moments throughout the season. Do you have anything on that at all?
Well, actually, luckily for you, I have just the perfect thing. Let's take a look at a district rivalry game earlier in the year that came down to the final seconds.
The Pirates took on the Colts in a thriller a couple of weeks ago, and here's the recap. The first couple of half innings flew by, and neither team had much trouble. That was until in the bottom of the second, after Sinclamani singled and stole second, she was left stranded on third after the Colts got the next 3, striking out the side. As we move into the third, Calhoun was yet to touch home plate as they left the runner stranded on first. Into the bottom we go as Mepham had first and third but failed to capitalize. The score remained 0-0 after 3. As we started the fourth, DeLucia started to get into a jam after walking the first 2 batters. Calhoun then scored the first run of the game on an RBI single from Maresca.
Winds up, and Maresca's able to get it to the outfield. It is going to fall as it's an RBI single for Maresca to put the Colts on the board.
After Mepham went down pretty easily in the bottom half, 1-0 in favor of Calhoun was your score after 4. The fifth was the start of the chaos. Calhoun extended their lead after a 2-out double from Gianna Castro, which scored 2. Mepham was headed to bat in the bottom of the fifth, down 3-0. This lead seemed to vanish rather quickly as the Pirates scored 3 runs in minutes. Jessica Hine drove in the first with an RBI double, and then the game was tied after a 2-run double. The Pirates weren't done yet as they scored 4 more runs, taking control of the game, leading 7-3 after 5. After the Pirates decided to make a pitching change, the Colts realized that this was their chance to fight back in this game, and that was exactly what they did. After quickly generating 2 outs, the Pirates were unable to close out the inning, thus allowing an Esposito double, which drove in 2 and tied the score. The Pirates were unable to capitalize in the bottom half, and we headed into the final inning tied 7-7. The Colts were up first, and they were able to load the bases with 2 outs after a couple of walks. Next up at the plate was Gabriella Fasciapani, and she gave the Colts the lead.
And that's going to be hit in the gap, and that's going to be many runs here for the Calhoun Colts.
The Colts were able to take control 9-7, and the Pirates were faced with a tough task heading into the final half inning. Things started well for the Pirates, as they were able to get runners in the corners with no outs. After a ground out and a sac fly, the Pirates were within 1, but were down to their final out. With runners on second and third, Leah Murray played hero for the Pirates.
The pitch, that's going to be a hit. Will it go through and will? The Pirates tie the game up.
With runners on the corners and 2 outs, Brianna Davis had an opportunity to complete the comeback and win the game for the Pirates.
That's going to be hit, and it's going to get through. The Mepham Pirates have done it.
And she did just that. What a game. A true thriller between the district rivals. Both teams were able to come back from multiple run deficits, and in the end, the Pirates came out on top in walk-off fashion. For B&B, I'm Matt Nadoff.
Well, I have to give it to you. That may have been the perfect thing. Couldn't have asked for a much better game than that.
See, I told you I had it. Try not to doubt me too much next time.
Yeah, we'll see. But it is kind of weird to think about it, but it's possible the whole outcome of that game could have changed with just one very simple call.
You know what, Tyler? I was just thinking that. In fact, even the major teams have been making drastic measures to ensure each call is the correct call.
I'm going to stop you right there. I think I just have the thing. We're going to send it over to Mel Arcos with her take on robotic umpires.
Hey, what are you doing?
I'm just trying to see what an umpire sees during a pitch. They have such an important role in the game in determining each call. It determines the entire fate of a game.
Major League Baseball has been around for almost 100 years. In almost every game, a controversial call has been made by the umpire. This is nothing new, but at the rate that technology is advancing today, fans are quick to say that umpire robots are beneficial.
When you think about it, there are so many positives, including the consistency and accuracy with these new robots. But with technology, they're not always 100% accurate, so there's definitely still a debate about it. When you look at video assistant referees, which help make officials to make the proper calls during a soccer match, you can compare that to what the future of robot umpires might look like.
Due to the fact that video referees have made major errors in the past, affecting game outcomes and interrupting the flow of the game, fans have grown to dislike it, with 67% of them agreeing that video referees make the game less enjoyable to watch.
Would it be worth it to take away a large human element of baseball and potentially turn fans away from the sport just to implement technology that may not even be successful? Baseball fans often complain about human umpires, but a problem that has affected players and coaches in the year is that they have been thrown out of games after arguing with an umpire over a call they believe was incorrect.
While many fans are hoping the robot umpires will make the right call, it is unlikely they will be able to officiate many games without a glitch.
Technology has their fair share of problems, and what happens if there's an issue where a player is called out on 2 strikes and the robot umpire doesn't register a dropped 3rd strike? Recently, new steps have been taken to speed up the game. So, wouldn't it be frustrating if the play had to stop while someone had to fix technical issues?
Yes, but on the other hand, humans make mistakes all the time. If you look at the consistency and accuracy of existing umpires, there is a large margin of error, and there are always pitches called that are inaccurate.
Especially with the controversy over umpire Angel Hernandez. Wouldn't robot umpires benefit the players in the long run once the technical issues have been sorted out? If robot umpires were able to ensure that every call would be made correctly, that would be the obvious choice. But since that isn't possible in the world that we live in today, I think we should just stick with the umpires that we have been working with for years.
Thanks, Melon. Who knows? Maybe we will have robotic umps come around next year for opening day.
You might be just a little bit too soon, but that's enough for that, at least until we see them in the majors. But why don't we transition to the other part of the diamond? So let's recap the Pirates baseball season.
Well, the boys have had a lot of talent on the roster, that's for sure. And of course, with a very high-powered upper class dominating that roster, with 12 seniors being spread out across the diamond, it's definitely a little bit on the older side with this team.
Well, I mean, that's for sure. And while unfortunately their playoff journey fell short, there were a lot of positives to highlight.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Stephen Mulqueen is kind of the guy that you want to frontline. Of course, you have the D1 talent in Kieran Kehoe. We all know the St. Joseph's commit, but Stephen Mulqueen, man, I mean, this guy shot out of a cannon, no pun intended, of course, with the Pirates, right? But seriously, he obviously had an opportunity to commit a D2 to Malloy. And, I mean, if you really asked anyone, 11 home runs, hitting over 500, I promise you no one really saw that coming.
I mean, it's not that much of an outrage to say, hey, he couldn't get it, because we knew he had talent coming junior year. Did anyone see the step up that he would take?
Yeah.
Maybe not, but he took that step and he was ready. And when the team needed him most, he performed. But on the other side, it does not take one player to make up a baseball team. You have Jaden Zoller, who on the B&B Game of the Week really just dominated on each aspect, going 3 for 3 with 3 singles, and had 11 strikeouts on the complete game pitched. So there is so much just things to look forward to, and there's a lot of things to be remembrance of and say, hey, that was a great season that some of these seniors had.
Yeah, 100%, and especially with talent like that, right? We talked about, again, this team loaded with seniors and things like that. You're going to have to see guys step up, right? You have Kieran Pangangar, who's that ace of the team. They're not going to have him next year, obviously, with him graduating. Kieran Kehoe, that's their starting first baseman. Guys like Harrington as well. Eddie Pietro, there's going to be a lot of talent that's leaving this team. I'm definitely curious to see where this season and where this team is going to be able to do next year.
Well, there's going to be a lot of holes to fill with the seniors leaving, but there's a lot to look forward to on the road ahead. So while there's a new look for the team next year, before the senior graduates, Luke Yepes got a chance to sit down with one of the aces for the Pirates.
Welcome back to another episode of The View. I'm Luke Yepes. Today I'm here with Kieran Pangankar, ace pitcher on the Mepham baseball team. So Kieran, how are you feeling today?
It's good. I'm happy to be on here. Yep.
Okay, that's great to hear. So you've obviously been on the team for a very long time, 4 years in the school. Can you share like a memorable experience where the teamwork on the team came together to, play like a pivotal role in the game? And what did this experience tell you about how collaboration and teamwork really is important to a team?
Yeah, so this year, coming off like an amazing year last year, we really had to work harder and like to beat like worse teams than we should have beat. So this year we were playing a team that we should have beaten, but we were losing in the later innings. And we had to have a meeting and we had to come back. We had to string some hits together, face some defense, pitch some strikes. And yeah, we eventually made the comeback and we won that game.
That's great to hear. Now, as a senior player, how do you mentor and support the underclassmen on your team, and why do you think this is important for the team's success?
So as a pitcher, we go off into independent drills. So sometimes like I take some underclassmen pitchers, like sophomores, and sometimes juniors that they haven't had experience on varsity. I just teach them how to have like the courage and how to like have like the willpower to be a varsity pitcher and stuff. So yeah.
Now, obviously, you're a student in Mepham High School. You're also an athlete. So how do you balance the demands of being a student athlete, and what strategies have you developed to manage both academics and athletics?
Yeah, so time management is a very big thing. I do my homework right before school ends, and sometimes I do it in class, at lunch. Whenever I have free time, I do my homework. I finish all my projects early, so I don't have to like stress out the day before and stuff. And with games and stuff, I never do homework the day of games because it's just a packed schedule, so I just manage my time right.
Now, obviously college is very near in sight. So what are your college plans, and how has baseball influenced your decision-making process regarding your education and future career in playing baseball or in a major that you'd like to pursue?
Yeah, so next year I'm attending SUNY New Paltz and I'm playing baseball there. And I went to many camps for like colleges and stuff, and I like tried out for them, and I figured that was the right fit, and I'm majoring in marketing and finance, so I'm going to try to pursue a career in that. Yeah.
So what are some of the ways that you're going to prepare yourself from the transition of high school baseball to college baseball, and what are some strategies that you're going to use to make this transition easier for yourself?
Yeah, so I've been in contact with my coach, and we have a summer workout plan for everything. And next year, in the fall when I get on campus, we're going to have some fall workouts. Everything's going to be good, and I'm going to acclimate to the college baseball scene.
What are you most excited for, going into college and playing baseball, having only played in the high school level? What is one of the things that you're most excited to experience when you're playing in college baseball?
Yeah, I'm excited to experience like the team aspect of it, and like how much the seniors are going to influence us, and like as underclassmen, like we're going to learn from them and stuff, everything like that.
Well, that's great to hear. That's all the time that we have here on The View today. We want to thank Kieran for coming on to the show.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
And we're going to throw it back to Tyler and Jake now.
Thanks, Luke. The boys have a lot to look forward to in the years up and coming.
I couldn't agree more. And sadly enough, while you might not be here to see it, I must say it's going to be an exciting transformation to keep an eye on.
Yeah, what did I? You can't keep reminding me that. I told you that multiple times before the show, but whatever. I might be here. I might not. We'll see. I might have to visit, go to some games.
Sorry, keep forgetting. Tyler, I'm glad to say before you leave, for the first time, you and I will be taking a deeper dive into the diamond, this time on the professional level in the MLB. Starting over in the NHL, where the East is fully locked into the finals. The Rangers took on the Panthers in Florida for a win-or-go-home Game 6. The game started out aggressive early, with the Panthers getting on the board quickly as Sam Bennett gets a statement to go in the top right corner to put them up 1. Then, while the Rangers held them to nothing in the second, the Panthers were finally able to seal their spot into the Cup midway into the third period.
Over in the West, it was a very, very close battle between the Dallas Stars and the Edmonton Oilers, but Edmonton just barely squeaking by in 6 games. It was a really, really close game, but of course, the star talents of Leon Draisaitl, Connor McDavid was what eventually was the downfall for the Dallas Stars.
It's finals time on the hardwood as well, where in the West, the red-hot Timberwolves took on Luka Doncic's led Mavericks, who dominated in every aspect of the series. The first quarter was no different, as the Mavericks could not be stopped, outscoring Minnesota by 16, and following the momentum in the second, going up 29 at half. Although the Timberwolves held their own coming out of the tunnel, Dallas rallied behind Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving's combined 72 points as they head to face the Celtics in the NBA Finals.
And lastly, back to the diamond, where over in the West Coast, the Yankees took on the Giants in a high-scoring affair. The Yankees' X-Factors, we're talking Juan Soto, got on board first with an early home run, and after that, it was a back-and-forth game. It was the Yankees' top of the lineup who was able to secure the win with a 4-run fourth inning. Well, back in New York, our Mets faced off against the World Series runner-ups. At Citi Field, Arizona started the first quickly with 2 solo shots from the top of the order, adding in the second and holding the Mets through 2. Then, the blue and orange were able to rally in an eventful 4-run third inning, and after zeros, filled the scoreboard until the top of the 9th, where Ketel Marte hit his second of the game to seal the deal. See, I told you this episode was about the Mets. Too bad they couldn't pull out the win, but anyways, we still have one more segment for you guys before that's a wrap.
Really? We do? What segment could that be?
Well, as you know, Jake, it's time for the B&B Play of the Month, where we show you the best clips that our cameras were able to capture. So, for the last time, let's take a look.
Well, it's not every game you get to see a ball fly over the fence just like that.
And you can't ask for a better way to set the tone in just the first inning.
Yep, a great job by the senior Stephen Mulqueen, able to turn on the pitch early in the game to launch his 10th on the season.
He has left some big shoes to fill, but as he heads off to Malloy, I can't wait to see what's in store for both Pirates teams next year.
Does that mean your time here is done?
I guess sadly it is.
Well, and unfortunately, that's all we have for you guys today. Tyler, I want to thank you for being an incredible producer, and it was an honor working with you, and I can't wait to carry out your legacy.
I appreciate that. You know, I do want to say a quick few thank yous. Of course, thank you to the teachers here, Ms. Kalish, Mr. Russell, Mr. Stein, who have frankly granted me an opportunity I cannot even fathom. I'm not the man I am here today, right? Having the opportunities that, you know, and also the opportunity that I know what I want to go for in college, and I know hopefully what I want to pursue in sportscasting. I'm so blessed to have them. I want to thank my family as well. Again, I'm not here without them. So them having to deal with me the last 18 years, so it's really been an honor to work with them. And I'm also very excited to see what you guys have in store. I mean, you guys are so much talented between the upperclassmen. Now that you're a senior, I know. You guys and the sophomores that are going to take a step up, and of course the freshmen that are going to have an opportunity to become now sophomores. Again, this feels disgusting to say. It has truly been my honor to be your sports director, and of course, I'm very excited to see what the future holds.
Well, I can't praise you enough. It's been incredible working with you, and thank you for everything you have taught me. But for the last time of 2023-2024 school year, I've been Jake Manno.
And I've been Tyler Steinberg, and have an amazing night, everyone. I'll see you all next time.